Once upon a time, there lived a precocious 8-year-old boy named Gustav. He lived with his older brother Oscar, his mother Liza, and his invisible father. Oh, his father wasn't really invisible. He worked inside a big red apple. Getting to and from this giant apple was quite a journey. Apparently it took a yellow taxi, an LIRR, a submarine, and another taxi just to get to the apple. At the end of the day, he had to do it all backwards. All in all, Gustav's father was gone 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. His mother explained, "Daddy yearns to climb the ladder of success." Gustav wondered how high such a ladder must be. He imagined a ladder being higher and longer than Jack and the Beanstalk's beanstalk. All this climbing meant Gustav's father would be gone when Gustav woke up, and he'd return well after Gustav went to bed. On the weekends, his father mostly golfed and slept. Gustav couldn't believe his father preferred climbing ladders, golfing, and sleeping rather than playing with his little boys. Perhaps, just perhaps, his father wasn't climbing ladders. Maybe, just maybe, he was a spy, or even better, an invisible wizard. But you see, nothing so magical ever happened in Huntington on the humdrum island of Long, at least not yet. Gustav grew up a cute, skinny kid with sandy blonde hair and an infectious grin and a vivid imagination. While other boys his age were getting addicted to DS games and Nintendo, Gustav was roaming the neighborhood dancing for candy money. He couldn't help it if he was resourceful as well as charming. When his mother discovered his unique way of gouging their neighbors out of coinage, she signed him up for dance lessons. He was the only boy taking ballet, tap, and hip-hop. He was really good, but the petty girls in pink leotards and ruffled tutus taunted him endlessly until the boy with all the gifts quit. At 8 years old, Gustav's imagination peaked. He had it settled in his mind that his absentee father wasn't merely MIA, but an invisible grand wizard. Liza, his mother, explained for the umpteenth time how his father worked long hours with an exhausting commute. Gustav refused to believe his mother. Climbing ladders in an apple. How silly! A few years back, when Gustav still sported his sleek, blonde bowl cut, he remembered his invisible father kissing him on the forehead. Gustav drifted into that place between dreaming and awake, but he distinctly heard his father say, "Sweet dreams, whiz kid." When he opened his eyes, his father had vanished. Only his pungent polo cologne lingered. His father had never called him a whiz kid before. He assumed it was code for, "I'm a wizard, and you're next." He knew it had nothing to do with his report cards, for they weren't wizard material. Incessantly, he would drone on to his mother, "Daddy doesn't want me to have his powers. As the youngest, he's got to pass them on to me. It's the wizard rule." Patiently, Liza would explain, "Gussie, Daddy's not a wizard. He's a workaholic, although he does seem like a ghost at times." This only fueled Gustav's belief. So my father is a ghost wizard then. He was determined to confront his dad. He would get those powers if it was the last thing he did. After all, they were rightfully his. Everyone knows that being the youngest son made you heir to such things. One early September morning, Gustav woke up, home alone. Still in his Power Ranger PJs, he called out to his family, "Mama? Dad? Oscar?" At first, he thought his entire family was invisible, until he saw the note left by his mother. "Gussie, I dropped Oscar off at soccer practice. I'm off to work. It's a teacher work day. I'll be home around noon. Let Taz out. Let Taz out. There's Eggo waffles in the freezer. Love ya, Mama. P.S. Don't get into mischief." Gus thought to himself, "Now's my chance." Taz yelped at the back door. He had a doggy door, but he preferred his humans let him out. After letting Taz go pee, Peep popped a couple of waffles into the toaster. If he was going to find his father, he'd need to eat first. Everyone knows you can't battle on an empty stomach. He thought he might need to prove his worth in the fantastical wizard world. As the sweet smell of hot toasty waffles filled the kitchen, Taz barked to be let in. Gustav picked up the 2 waffles and said, "Hot, hot, hot," Shoveling an entire waffle into his mouth, he opened the squeaky screen door and with a mouthful said, "Come in, boy. I'm going to need your help today, Taz." He pulled off a piece of waffle and tossed it to Taz. He caught it in the air and begged for more. "No more. Mama says you're getting fat, boy." He shoved the entire second waffle into his own mouth. He had no time to waste. His mother would return in less than 3 hours. His search for a ghost wizard of a father had begun. Gus began calling out for him as he ran throughout the house. "Dad! Daddy! Ghost wizard! Come out, wherever you are!" Nothing. Gus asked aloud, "So this is how it's gonna be, huh?" He didn't really expect an answer. His father had been eluding him for years, and now he suspected it to be on purpose. "Is this a test? Do I have to find you?" Taz barked once. Once for yes, 2 for no. Gus took it as a sign. He started with the front closet. He removed every coat, every shoe, every purse. On the top shelf were board games that he dumped onto the floor, Pictionary, Moods, Apples to Apples, and more. Red and green Monopoly houses scattered into the living room. It rained pastel Monopoly money everywhere. Gus wasn't sure how big or small a ghost wizard could be. He needed to open every box, reach inside every boot. Such messy determination. After emptying the front hall closet, he and Taz headed for the kitchen. He opened every cabinet, every drawer. He took out every cup, plate, bowl, fork, spoon, spatula. He piled them high on the kitchen island. Next, he went to the refrigerator. He removed everything, only stopping to take the Skittles out of the Lunchables and to drink every Capri Sun juice box. Slurp, slurp, slurp. He opened every container, dumping everything onto the teal laminated 50-style kitchen table. He even checked inside each and every egg. Crack, gloop, crack, gloop. Next came the pantry filled with rice, Lucky Charms, Captain Crunch, and more. He had to be thorough. He had to open and dump the contents from each and every container. He believed once he became a wizard, he could put it all back with the snap of his fingers. Taz looked up and paused his eating frenzy. When he wasn't scolded for eating the blue stars, yellow diamonds, and green clovers, he continued devouring the cereal. It was his own way of helping. When he'd emptied the entire contents of the kitchen, he bounded up the stairs, yelling his catchphrase, "Wizard of the Island of Long, you must pass your powers along." His mother would be home in less than 2 hours. There was no time to waste. Upstairs, it was a bit easier. He started in his parents' room. The tidy closet was packed full of suits and dresses and more. He piled them on top of his parents' bed. Taz scooted under the bed. Gustav assumed the puppy was helping and yelled, "Good boy, find Daddy." The only thing Taz found were some dust bunnies. He came out, shook off the cobwebs, and sneezed 3 times. Gustav thought, 3 sneezes. It means we're getting close. Huh, boy? Taz tilted his head at the boy and whined. Then he wobbled to his doggy bed in Gustav's room. His overstuffed belly hurt. After the closet came the dresser drawers. He didn't like touching his mom's underthings, so he dumped the contents onto the abstract throw rug. He was running out of time and patience. The waffle energy wore out an hour ago. Next, he headed to the tiny bathroom across the hall. He plugged the sink, opened the medicine cabinet, and dumped every pill bottle, toothpaste, shaving cream, and razor. In a searching frenzy, he knocked over the container holding the family's toothbrushes into the toilet. Ah, geez. Sticking his hand into the toilet, which still contained his own urine from this morning, he thought he'd better wash them off, so he turned the water on. Wait, the pills were still in the sink, and now were a melty mess. He'd made his own abstract work of Advil, Sudafed, Aleve, and Tums. Quickly, he looked under the cabinet sink, ridding it of shampoo, shaving cream, razors, toilet paper, and no Dad. After performing the same ritual in the linen closet, Oscar's room, and then his own, he was exhausted. He told himself, "I'll just rest my eyes and then I'll clean up before Mom gets home." He stepped over a pile of Taz's puke in the hall. He remembered the commercial. Now with rainbow marshmallows. Taz, too, had made a masterful piece of art. Gustav noticed Taz curled up in a ball in his off-white, lumpy, comfy, squishy dog bed. "Move over, Taz." Gustav rested his head next to Taz's soft belly, and the rhythm of the dog's breathing made Gustav fall fast asleep.